am Flavio, il meeple con la camicia, and welcome to this new episode where we are going to talk about a game that is going to be again on crowdfunding. If you know me, probably you know that I mostly prefer competitive games, but sometimes there are exceptions to these rules. Last Essen Spiel, I was wandering in the press room looking at all the board games and my eye fell on this beautiful board. Now, if there is something I really like in a board game is a beautiful board that is thematically tied to the mechanics. And then I see the title of the board game, Dutch Resistance, Orange shall overcome. And it was clear to me that it was a World War II themed board game. So I asked to the designer himself, he was there, to tell me something about the game, and I was really fascinated. Now let's see how the game works, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you what I think. In this cooperative game for 1 to 5 players, we will play as the Dutch resistance during the German occupation in World War II. Their resistance was very particular because it was a silent and non-violent one. The game is prepared with a scenario, which is different every time, and there are 5 of them in the game, preferably to be played sequentially. Each scenario immerses you in a particular historical moment, putting you in the shoes of simple people who actually existed, who must pursue objectives such as creating a local network of contacts and earning people's trust, hiding important people and moving them secretly through the streets patrolled by police and German soldiers, photograph some officers or carry important documents from one side of the city to the other, prevent artists from having to go to the other side of the fence, trying to make them perform in secret to accumulate money for their safety, or finally try to convince the police to join the cause, but only if we save their family members. Each scenario has its own preparation and its additional elements and mechanics. You can also choose the difficulty level if you want an easier or perhaps a more challenging game. Each scenario also has its own specific goal to win the game. Losing the game is generally caused by one of 3 factors. One of the player's alibi drops below 0, morale drops below 0, or if you have to draw occupant cards and there are none left. Scenarios may also have additional ways in which you can lose the game. The game takes place in rounds, divided into day phase and night phase. In the day phase, the players carry out their actions in turn order. First of all, each player draws an occupant card and takes their 3 action cards belonging to the chosen character. The morale track determines an amount of action points available to all the players. Then the active player carries out their actions, among those indicated on their cards, and or uses action points from the cards themselves or those determined by the morale level to carry out basic actions. The peculiarity of these action points is that they can be spent by anyone, even outside of their turn. The action you may carry out, in addition to those specific to the scenario, and those on the cards, are rolling a die to increase the safety of a place. Safety determines how much a location is at risk of a raid. You can obtain informations, that is, reduce the safety of a place you are in, and take the relevant information token. Move 1 or 2 spaces between one location and an adjacent one. These may cause you to draw a halt card. These cards are very particular and thematic. When you have to solve one, another player will read it out for you, and you will have to make a choice, not knowing exactly what could happen and letting your instinct guide you. You could lose some of your alibi, risking being discovered or perhaps compromising the safety of a place. It also depends on who is questioning your loyalty. A policeman, more permissive, or a soldier who won't let you get away so easily. The actions you can carry out in the locations can be very different. Getting money from the bank, a helper to help you in your mission, informations and morale, resources of all sorts, ways to improve your alibi, and much more. These pass cards allows you to cross a road with armed forces and avoid to draw a halt card. Or maybe you can use a train ticket taken at the station to move wherever you want, but at the expense of a bit of your morale or your alibi. In the first scenario, you will have some location flipped to their black and white sides, with a cost token. Since your goal is to create a network of connections and allies, you will have to travel around the city, accumulate certain resources, and take them to certain places to earn the trust of those people. In exchange, the location will be turned to the other side, and you will get a one-time help from a helper, and from then on, you can take advantage of the action of that location. When you have carried out your actions, you must resolve the occupant card. This card remains secret from the other players, you absolutely cannot talk about it, but knowing what it is, you will have carried out your actions trying to limit the damage. These cards are one of the game's timers and gradually become nastier. Some of these are specific to each scenario. Usually you will have two options to choose from, but it may happen that you have to do something mandatory. Basically, they will complicate your life by worsening the situation on the streets, or lowering the morale or the safety of the locations. When everyone has carried out their actions and resolved the occupant card, we move on to the night phase, in which each player drops the safety condition of a location they are in due to too many resources they possess and a dangerously low alibi. Sometimes a scenario can add other actions to perform in this phase. Then, the armed forces move along the streets, threatening the safety of the locations they pass through and the alibi of those hiding inside, effectively reducing them by 1 for each unit that passes through. Their movement is determined by these cards. Their backs gives you a clue on which area they will be moving. The game ends with the players winning if they reach their scenario objectives, or losing if one of the endgame conditions occurs. As you can see, this game makes you live that historical period trying to experience certain emotions. The components are of absolute quality, they are a lot evocative, especially the illustrations. They really make me feel the theme, and the theme really fascinates me. Because yes, it's World War II, but we're not talking about armed resistance, shooting, blood, deaths, no. It's something more silent, hidden, something that many people who are also represented in the game really experienced. The designer wanted to pay homage to all the heroes of that period with this game, not only representing them as characters in the game, but making us live what they have been into. Mechanically, we have an action selection that works, we have scenarios, we have personalized actions based on the character you want to play, and bear in mind that the scenarios are absolutely replayable. This is not a complex game, and because it is a cooperative game, you can help each other with the rules. The rulebook is well done, there is text on the cards, there are reference cards, so it's really easy to understand and to play. There is some randomness in the game, but not that one that can't be controlled. If a failure could cost you dearly, probably you will try to find another solution, just like in the real life, right? The game is not too long, it works fine with every number of players, also in solo mode, and thanks to the scenarios, the lots of cards, also the new halt cards that the old backers wanted to add in the game, there is a ton of variability and replayability in this game. I was really surprised by the attention from the designer to the details in this game, and the fact that the theme is a strong point in this game. If you're looking for a cooperative game, very thematic, with subterfuge, intrigue, with easy and effective rules, probably this is a game for you. And that's it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll answer as soon as I can. Thank you for watching and see you next time!